Hello baby boys! The Sims 2 is an old game, and so of course there are a lot of myths surrounding it. And let me tell you, our community loves a big myth. That's why in today's video we're giving you the top 10 biggest Sims 2 myths. And joining me is the hood corruption queen 10x Sims. Myth number 1. Strangetown Bella is a clone. Well, let me explain. There are two ways Strangetown Bella could be a clone of Pleasantville Bella. One of the ways would be if she was an exact copy of Pleasantville Bella, meaning they would have to share the same face, the same personality points, skills, family trees, relationships, memories, all of that. I mean, height is not a feature of the Sims 2, but if it was, I bet they would have different heights as well. Whoever was in charge of creating the Bellas did not do the greatest job. The other way would be in the actual lore of the Sims. So maybe she was not exactly the same, but in the lore she was a clone. Cause a lot of people think that, for example, the bigger couple cloned Bella Goth for some reason. But actually Strangetown Bella does not fit either of these possibilities. She's not an exact copy of Bella Goth, and she's not a clone's version of hers in the lore. Actually, Strangetown Bella and Pleasantville Bella are not the same sim, but they are the same person. This makes no sense, oh my god. Okay, so this information was actually confirmed. This is the Sims lore. Bella Goth was abducted in Pleasantville, the starship crashed, and that's how she ended up in a strange town. Then somehow she got re-abducted and later died in Lunar Lakes, where it seems like she was a leader to the aliens. Long story short, from the game's perspective, Strangetown Bella is another sim, but in the lore, both Bellas are the same. Oh, and we also want to hear from you. What is a big myth you've heard about the Sims 2? Has it been debunked already? Do people still believe in it? Let us know in the comments. And now let's welcome 10x Sims. Myth number 2.
Boolprop testing cheats enabled causes corruption. Now, this one was absolutely rampant back in the early days of the online Sims 2 community, especially the official BBS. So Boolprop testing cheats enabled is a very powerful and useful cheat that probably needs no introduction, but essentially it unlocks debugging tools used by the developers and allows access to the game's debug mode. If something goes wrong while this cheat is active, then an object error message will pop up saying what's gone wrong and where, so which object has encountered a problem and a bit of information as to why, as well as dropping an error log containing more details. So there are 3 options with an error. You can cancel it, reset the object, or delete it. The game is asking you what it should do. Ordinarily, it will go with the reset option, causing what is known as a jump bug. There was a very pervasive misconception that the cheat itself was causing these errors, and so if you posted, "Hey, I've got this error," others would respond with, "Oh, turn Boolprop off, that's your problem," rather than addressing the actual bug. That was another thing. Testing cheats was often referred to simply as Boolprop, which isn't very helpful because Boolprop is just short for Boolean property, and all that means is that it's true or false. There are plenty of cheats that begin with Boolprop, but in this context, Boolprop was used a lot to specifically refer to testing cheats. Anyway, yeah, technically it's true that turning the cheat off would make the error messages go away, but it wouldn't actually stop the errors themselves from occurring. They would happen whether the cheat was active or not. You just might not notice because you won't be consulted. It'll just reset the problem object and try to deal with it itself without your input. Also, because the cheat is so powerful, it was seen as quite dangerous, to the extent that players advised others to never leave it on for an extended period of time, or even shut down the game with it still active. So you would turn it on, do what you needed to do, and then immediately turn it off once you were done. It was taken very seriously, this belief that just having it on would somehow break your game. This, of course, is not the case. There's no reason or solid evidence that this would be harmful at all. Sure, maybe don't click on options where you don't know what what they do, but casual use or indeed just leaving it on, and yes, even quitting the game without disabling it first is fine, and it's not going to corrupt your entire game. In fact, testing cheats is a staple in a lot of players' user startup cheat file nowadays, and actually seeing error messages can be quite handy, especially if you use mods. Just use it sensibly and there's no problem.
Myth number 3. The Ottomas and Crittur are corrupted. Oh my god, back in the day, these families were problematic, but what do they have in common? Well, for starters, they are being families. That was part of the problem. And then, playing a much bigger role in this mess was the fact Samantha and Sarah are both pregnant when the game starts. People used to think these families were corrupted because whenever they would give birth, their baby daddies wouldn't be assigned correctly. In Pleasantville, for example, Brand Broke would always be assigned as the Ottomas baby's daddy, as if she hadn't enough kids already, do you know what I mean? And many players believed that meant that their saves were now long gone, and corruption had invaded their games. But that was never the case. The real problem was in their original hoods, that is, the Weather hood for the Ottomas family and the Pets hood for the Crittur. Both Peter and Danny had different needs. That would be their neighbor ID. This is like a number given to every sim in a hood. But then when they get dropped into new hoods, Danny and Peter are giving new character numbers, or needs. Except their unborn babies didn't get their daddy's number updated as well. So the game would recognize another sim in the hood with the same original need as the one they had before as the new baby daddy. That was what was causing this whole mess. It's kinda crazy how some people still think this is a problem, but that was patched many years ago and no longer happens. Let's be for real, the only scary thing here is how ugly the Ottomas babies are. And you know what? There are not a lot of Sims 2 active content creators at this moment. So if you love Sims 2 creative content, please subscribe, like this video, leave a comment, and I'll make more. Myth number 4.
Deleting Sims from the bin causes corruption. Probably the most inescapable myth that a lot of us genuinely believed for years has to be that deleting Sims through the sim bin was the worst thing you could ever do.
It feels like to be strangled to death. First, you feel the pressure in your throat.
And would 100% guarantee severe, irreversible hood corruption. For a long time, we thought that pressing the little trash can button shredded a sim's data, and there would be all these remnants left behind just floating around the hood, looking to latch on to the next created sim and leave invalid references all over the place, and your toddlers will have lifetime wants, and then your hood would be totally doomed. Yeah, spoiler alert, turns out that's not how it works. Knowledgeable modders like Chris Hatch and Lazy Duchess, and of course April Black here on YouTube, have all done a brilliant job debunking this myth in depth. But to summarize, deleting Sims with the in-game tool is completely safe and does not cause hood corruption because the game understands how sim data is all connected and handles deletion by unlinking the sim instead. So they're not fully deleted exactly, their sim description and associated records remain intact, but their character file is reduced to what is known as a stub. So some of the resources, in particular 3D ones, are removed as they're no longer necessary, but the ones storing, for example, their name and their thumbnail image are left behind, so you'll still see them in other Sims memories or family trees. You just can't bring them back without a lot of wizardry. Many of the deceased ancestral Sims and some clones in the base game hoods were deleted this way, so you can't play them, but they're still there everywhere they need to be. Most of all, their neighbor ID, their NID, remains theirs. That's the instance of their sim description and is how sims are referenced basically everywhere. So that's still valid and can't be snatched, so everything will still correctly point to them. It seems a lot of the confusion stems from the effects of improper sim deletion, so for example externally deleting a sim's file from the neighborhood's characters folder, and how that indeed can be problematic, because the references to them that get left behind will actually be invalid. Even still, it's rare for NIDs and their associated orphaned or dangling references to be inherited by new sims anyway, thanks to the savior that is the sim creation index. Each HUD has one. It keeps track of the last NID used and ensures they aren't recycled. There's a lot of technical details about all this and why deleting from the sim bin is absolutely safe, but in short, at its core, HUD corruption is simply data corruption. And the opposite of that is data integrity, which is what properly deleting, unlinking sims maintains.
Myth number 5. Duper Hug Bug. This one is also called the STD of the Sims, and you will understand exactly why. So a lot of amazing mods used one specific code already existing in the game's files as a foundation to custom interactions, but that same code was already linked to an interaction, one that was not supposed to be available for the players. This interaction would be the Super Duper Hug. This hug is animated just like the friendly one, but Sims gain more relationship points with the Super Duper, and that's pretty much everything about this interaction. It does not cause corruption, it does not break your game, it does close to nothing. Now, all of the issues related to this interaction starts when you download a mod, play with it a little, and then remove it from your game. As I said before, many mods were made using the Super Duper Hug's code, and if by lack of luck or knowledge you remove a mod that was done like that, what happens is the game will try to find the interaction that got removed with the mod and then replace it with the Super Duper Hug Bug, because both are using the same code, or to be more specific, the same fallback git. That's how the Super Duper Hug becomes visible in game. Sims will perform this interaction autonomously all the time, but why do we call it the STD of the Sims? If, for example, this bug is happening in my game and then I build a beautiful lot and make it available for download, everybody who downloads my lot will also have the bug in their games. But I think the biggest myth surrounding this bug is not that it causes corruption, but that has no cure at all. Some people say that even if you uninstall the game and restart from scratch, the bug will still be there. And I don't think this is possible at all, it makes no sense. I do think that if you reinstall the whole thing, the bug will be gone. And just like any other STD, it can be treated. Myth number 6.
Cheating can be found out through gossip. This one likely comes from the 2004 E3 demonstration, where a sim called Virginia catches her brother-in-law Don kissing another woman, and Virginia rushes over to her sister, Sarah, Don's wife, and informs her about it through gossiping, and Sarah is of course furious, and it all kicks off. Marticore attempted to replicate this scenario in a video but was unsuccessful, and concluded that if the feature ever existed, and indeed was included as part of the base game, it might have been broken in an expansion pack. Some anecdotal evidence suggests it could have been around Open for Business, mostly because players have testified this happened in their games in the early days. Gossip, the whole memory system, in fact, was quite hyped from the start, and actually the Get Caught Cheating fear references this happening in its description. It specifically warns you to be careful of who witnesses these shenanigans. Gossip can quickly get back to your sim's mate. So it could have once worked, but doesn't anymore.
And yes, I'm back. Would you like to add some information here? I was actually testing this in my game for this video, and I removed all of Mary Sue's memories and relationships and only kept the gossip memory of Dawn cheating, but even so, it didn't work. She kept gossiping about P instead, which is what a sim would do if they had nothing to gossip about. So even though these gossip memories are in the game, it seems like it's impossible to gossip about them.
As As for the E3 gameplay, it was actually following a specific script written for the demonstration. You can find it in the objects package file. It's a behavior function right at the bottom if you saw alphabetically. It's called E3 script Baxter with 4 Z's in front, so it wasn't showcasing normal gameplay, unfortunately. A sim could potentially, but probably rarely, have a gossip memory about someone else having an affair, but in terms of actually triggering the jealousy mechanic as a direct result, that doesn't seem to happen.
Myth number 7. Pregnancy token. If you're a simpy explorer like me, then you've probably come across the pregnancy modifier token. Out of nothing, you notice a sim has it and you wonder why. Well, from my understanding and Marcy Carr's video on it, this token was supposed to alter the odds of a pregnant sim of having twins, which a lot of people still think this is how this works, but that's not the case, cause as a lot of other codes in the game, it's broken, and a bunch of sims in the hood are giving this token, and then the token gets taken away pretty much all the time. And yes, this makes no sense at all. If this mechanic was working, then I think it would be awesome, and a lot of people think that Kaylee Langerak has this token because she does get it all the time, but actually when the game starts, she does not. So yeah, basically the pregnancy token is pure garbage. Myth number 8.
Deleting graves causes corruption. Now, this myth is a consequence of the misinformation and confusion surrounding in-game sim deletion, because the logic was that graves are sims and deleting sims is bad, therefore deleting graves is bad too. But no, if you're low on cash and need an extra 150 simoleons, then selling Grandpa's grave does the exact same thing as deleting a sim through the bin. It simply unlinks them. They're still valid. The only downside now is that you can't resurrect them again, and you won't have Grandpa's angry ghost asking why you sold him. The same thing happens if an urn is smashed. So even if a grave somehow goes missing, which can happen, just not extremely frequently, it's all safe. It just might not be desirable if you ever did want to resurrect them. If you don't want sims to be unlinked when their grave is deleted, then you can get Pescado's mod, no unlink on delete, that will prevent this. But in terms of hood corruption, deleting graves shouldn't cause that for the same reasons as deleting from the bin.
Myth number 9. Bella Goth was deleted by accident. There are a lot of myths about Bella Goth, including that bringing her back would cause corruption. It does not, and is totally safe. I've been playing The Sims 2 for many years, and I've always read that Bella was deleted by accident at some point during game's development, and they had no way of fixing that, so they created the whole missing plot to justify it. On top of having no real evidence of this, if Bella was somehow deleted by accident, it would not be hard at all to bring her back. The YouTube channel The Sims Lore made a whole video about a Bella bug that started this whole mystery. That's not exactly what happened. People missed the point of this video big time in the comments. At one point, Bella was actually not appearing in the game, and she was supposed to, but that's not Pleasantville Bella, but the Strangetown one. In Strangetown, Bella Goth is a townie. She was supposed to walk by our Sims houses and appear on community lots just like any other townie, really, but that was not happening. And why, do you ask me? Well, the reason is pretty simple. Strangetown Bella was not in the townie's household, but in the default one, where all of these special NPCs are. And that's why she would never appear, because the Sims in this household are not supposed to be out and about like that. This was fixed many years ago. Long story short, Bella was not deleted by accident, there was no bug that deleted her, and the whole thing was just always part of the plot. That's why The Sims 2 lore is so good. Finally, myth number 10.
Saving on the phone causes corruption. Another ancient urban legend among the Sims 2 community. So this one was based on how phone calls work. So when you're playing a household and the phone rings, or you want to call up a neighbor for a chat, that sim who lives in another household is kind of summoned to the lot you're currently playing, except they're off-world. So they're considered to be on the lot, but they're just invisible call, and then they're removed once the call ends. It's the same as when a sim is at work or school. They're still technically on the lot, you just can't see them. The idea behind this myth was that if you saved while a sim was on the phone, then the off-world sim would be trapped in some kind of limbo on the lot, particularly in the event of a HUD reset. Now, HUD resets were a lot more common during the Sims 2's lifespan because they would typically happen when you installed a new expansion or patches, which of course isn't really a thing anymore since we mostly play a digital version with all or most of the packs already installed nowadays, but it can also happen when installing or removing some major mods. When a HUD reset occurs, Sims will just be standing around having stopped whatever they were doing when you last left them. So say if your Sims were asleep, they'll be out of bed, or if they were at work or school, they will be back home. It was believed that under these circumstances, the Sim on the other end of the phone would get stuck and that would ultimately corrupt the neighborhood. Yes, you might have a problem with the phone if this happens, because it might think it's still in use. And yes, the other sim could become an off-world loiterer, so to speak, but in terms of serious long-term damage, and especially HUD corruption, it's unlikely. If you ever save during a phone call and then maybe install a mod that causes a HUD reset, you can fix it quite easily by using Pescado's Batbox to clear off-world loiterers. Even still, it's not a massive deal to save while on the phone, and again is only a bit of an issue if a HUD reset does occur, which is unlikely, but yeah, otherwise the effects have kind of been exaggerated over the years, and there really shouldn't be any problem saving and leaving a lot during a phone call.
Yes, baby boys, so many years of Sims 2, so many myths to be debunked. I'd like to say thank you so much, 10x Sims. This video was so much fun, and so much fun because of you.
Thank you so much, Kriusa, for inviting me to be part of this video. It's been an absolute blast, and I hope you enjoyed it, baby boys.
It was so nice working together, and I hope that in the future we can make more videos. Please subscribe to 10x Sims for me. Thank you so much for watching. Please like this video, leave a comment, subscribe, all of that, and I'll see you in the next one.